Arionne Curry? Whoo child, it is loud without a single word being spoken in public by the cast. And yes, I need you to watch this video all the way to the end because you do not want to miss a single detail. Trust me, this story gets deeper every second, and the truth that's coming out is going to shake this whole situation again. So picture this: Los Angeles. Bright lights, long gowns, the cast glowing like they ready for war and glam at the same time. Melody Shari stepping out looking like she ain't thinking about nobody but her blessings. The woman had that kind of glow that says, life tried to break me and failed. You know when somebody healed and they not pressed by nobody or nothing? Yeah, that was her. Then you got Martell Holt trying to stand tall, trying to look cool, but baby, his eyes were telling a whole different story. Martell was trying so hard to keep it cute, but anybody paying attention could see that man was tense. Eyes moving, phone buzzing. He already knew his past was about to walk into the room without even being invited. Let's talk about Letitia Scott and Marcel Scott for a second, too. Letitia looked like she came prepared to throw shade, smile sweet, and act innocent all at the same time. That woman had "I said what I said" in her eyes. Marcel? He stayed in his cool uncle energy like always, acting like nothing in this world can touch him. But trust, that man clocked everything happening around him. And Kimmy Scott? Bless Kimmy's heart, always trying to keep peace where peace don't want to live. Trying to keep this show classy while chaos waiting backstage like, tag me in. Kimmy really be trying to save people who already packed gasoline on their emotions and walked into a spark. But let's get real. None of them could stop the elephant that wasn't even in the room. The absence that felt louder than applause. Arionne Curry. Yes, her. The name some try not to say, the name some pretend don't exist, the name that shaped years of storyline without a contract, camera, or mic. And for the first time, she was not just missing, she was missing loudly. And the world noticed. Social media turned into a crime scene the moment folks realized Arionne did not get that reunion invite. It was like someone pulled the pin on a social grenade. Comments everywhere. Fans yelling, "Where's she at?" Others saying, "Good, move on." Some acting shocked, some acting like they always knew she'd be shut out. Everyone had an opinion, and the timeline couldn't hold them all. And baby, Arionne Curry did what Arionne does best. She took her feelings online. She didn't cry. She didn't whine. She didn't beg. No. She let that hurt and heat leak out through cryptic messages, shade-heavy posts, not calling names, but calling energy. Saying she been erased, saying people fake, saying folks scared of the truth, saying she lived this story before cameras rolled. And listen, that one line, "I lived it long before the cameras came," oh, it hit like a brick thrown from the back row. Because we all know, yes, she did. Before the show, before the fame, before the mess played out for the world. This situation wasn't a plot line for her. It was her real life, her real heart, her real decisions. And the internet ate it up because when someone feels erased, they get loud even in silence. Now let's be honest. You don't have to like Arionne to see she's tired. She tired of the names. She tired of the side comments. She tired of being painted a villain in a play she didn't audition for, but somehow became the headline. And while some folks clap that she's not included, others saying, hold up. If we telling the truth, tell the whole truth. Because whether you want her around or not, she is part of this story. You can't erase chapters just because the book getting uncomfortable. Meanwhile, Melody sat there glowing like a queen who already fought the worst battles and came out clean. She wasn't thinking about no triangle. She wasn't thinking about no scandal. That woman made it clear she moved on, and she focusing on peace, business, and family. Melody wasn't pressed. She wasn't worried. And honestly, when you heal, somebody else's noise sound like whispers in another room. And Martell, child, that man's anxiety was doing laps. Every phone buzz probably felt like Judgment Day. You can put on a suit, but you can't dress peace if you don't have it. Because every action got a shadow, and his shadow follows him like it's glued to his shoes. Even Letitia couldn't hold back. Her little line, "Some people stay pressed about not being in the room." Whew! That slap came wrapped in velvet, but it still stung. That was shade dipped in honey, but still sharp enough to slice. And it showed something. People tired of the ghosts haunting this cast. But baby, ghosts only haunt where there's unfinished business. Producers didn't invite Arionne for security reasons and emotional triggers. Let's translate that into real talk. They knew if she walked into that room, the whole event might break into fire. Chairs would get nervous, mics would shake, plot lines would crumble, because when the person who lived the part shows up, suddenly the script don't matter. The truth walk in and camera edits can't save nobody, and that's what they're scared of. Chaos, unfiltered. But here's the gag. Even without stepping foot in the building, Arionne controlled the room. How you ban, block, erase, and still the entire reunion shaking around your absence? Baby, that's power even when you ain't invited. And Martell felt that more than anybody, because no matter how far he tries to walk from that chapter, that door never shuts. Not fully, not yet. And let's talk about feelings nobody wants to say out loud. Arionne was hurt. Yes, she tries to act strong. Yes, she posts bold. But when you spend years connected to folks, part of a story, part of pain and mess and love and tears, and everyone gets invited except you, that don't feel like peace. That feels like punishment. That feels like the world saying your story don't matter. Only your scandal did. And yes, she loud. Yes, she reacts. But pain got a sound, and that's hers. But on the flip side, actions come with consequences. Choices build futures. And the road she walked with Martell, it came with the price. Melanie walked through fire and rebuilt. Arionne walked into fire thinking she wouldn't get burned. Now she's standing in smoke, holding the pieces, trying to prove she mattered in a story everyone pretends is clean. When really, everybody got dirt somewhere. So stay right here to the end, because what happens next, this not the end. This not the last time her name shakes rooms she not in, because one thing about a story that ain't finished, it keeps writing itself even when folks try to shut the book. Arionne Curry finally speaking out again ain't her last page. It's her middle. And middle part's messy, loud, and not always pretty, but they still real. And like it or not, this whole situation, it's a reminder. You cannot erase players just because their presence uncomfortable. But you also cannot cry for a seat at a table built on pain you helped lay bricks for. Everybody here paying for something. And baby, the bill, not done yet. And let's talk about this so-called peace everyone keeps trying to show. Viewers are not fools. Social media might be full of pretty filters and polished captions, but the tension behind the scenes is loud. People could feel something boiling under the surface when Melody Shari walked into that room. Yes, she looked beautiful, confident, and glowing, but energy doesn't lie. And her energy said, "I'm here for business, not for drama." Meanwhile, Martell Holt, his whole vibe felt heavy. You could see it in his posture. You could see it in his eyes. That man was trying so hard to look unbothered, but baby stress was sitting on him like a winter coat in July. And with Arionne Curry firing shots online at the same time, Martell looked like someone who knew a storm was building and he could not escape it. Now, the internet started doing what the internet does best. Digging, questioning, analyzing. Fans began pointing out every tiny detail. Why isn't Arionne here? Did Melanie demand it? Did production block her? Are they hiding something? Everyone had a theory. Some people were defending Arionne hard. They said, like it or not, she was part of the story, she has a voice, and she should get to tell it. Others said, nope, enough is enough. The show is moving forward and she needs to move forward too. The timeline was split like never before. Team Melanie saying they want peace and growth, Team Arionne saying she's tired of being pushed aside, and in the middle, Martell, looking like he aged 5 years in one filming day. As all this played out, Arionne continued posting more cryptic messages. Nothing direct, nothing obvious, but enough for everyone to understand she was hurt. She talked about being erased. She talked about people pretending a story started on TV when she lived it long before cameras. And honestly, that line hit a lot of people. It made fans realize that behind the drama, behind the shade, behind the social media mess, there is a real person with real emotions. She wasn't just mad, she was hurt, feeling uninvited, ignored, and dismissed. That's not easy for anyone. And while some people said she brought it on herself, others recognized that pain is pain, and rejection stings whether you're right or wrong. Meanwhile, the cast kept trying to carry on like nothing was happening. Letitia Scott and Marcel Scott were still smiling for the cameras and pretending everything was perfect. But let's be real. That little comment Letitia made about some people stay impressed because they weren't in the room, yeah, that was shade. Sweet voice, sharp message. And Marcel, always playing the cool guy, tried to keep it smooth like he does. But even he could not ignore the social media storm brewing beyond the reunion stage. Kimmy Scott stayed calm, like always, trying to keep the peace and steer conversations into positive spaces. But when a situation is this hot, even the calmest person feels the heat. And baby, let's not forget the fans. Because if you think this drama was just happening on camera or on Instagram, oh no. The fans took this situation and ran with it. People were making TikToks, Twitter threads, YouTube breakdowns, Facebook debates. It was everywhere. One comment even said, you can erase someone from the show, but you can't erase the truth. Thousands of likes, thousands of shares. That comment shook the room. And whether people agreed or not, one thing became clear. This story is nowhere near finished, so don't go anywhere. Stay right here because the truth always finds its way out, and this time it might shake the entire Love and Marriage Huntsville world.